All right, Anthony Hartwig here. Another fall sports season preview coming at you here on YSN. We're joined by the football coach over at West Branch, Tim Cooper. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
You got it. And before we start talking about the exciting stuff that we have for this year, I want to kind of get a quick recap of last year, some of the things that you think lessons were learned from both the coaching staff and the players, and what you hope the returning players can bring from last year's experience.
I think we're led by a great group of seniors. These guys have been playing since they were sophomores, so they have a lot of experience in big game situations. Last year, we had a tough battle with Canfield week one at Canfield, which is always a tough place to play, and we kind of got it handed to us. So that was a big learning moment. And then we were able to kind of get better and find our identity throughout the season. We had a couple really close games where our kids were resilient, showed that resiliency, against Girard at home in a shootout. And then going down to Ridgewood was a battle for us. And then we hit a real stride there. I think we had 3 straight shutouts and played some teams in there that were, they were going through some growing pains as well. But once we found that groove, offensively, we really kicked it up. And then defensively, we made the plays that we needed to. And then we've had a great postseason run. Obviously we wanted to continue playing even after losing to Canton South, but our postseason beating a Woodridge team who was much improved, and our defense did a phenomenal job in that game. And then playing a very talented Streetsboro team at home, another great defensive performance by us. And then we just ran into the buzzsaw that was Canton South, who was extremely talented and well coached. So, obviously our kids are hungry because, they want to get past that hump. We've got a loaded region, but they learned what it takes and what it's going to take to the next level. And now it's finally their time to lead us. So we're really excited. We got a great scrimmage tonight against South Range. That should be a great test for us.
Let's talk about this roster that you're bringing together. I know there's a lot of returning faces, some new faces too. Who are the big names that you think that the fans and the media like us need to know about that should kind of be aware of before the season starts?
I think, like I said, these guys have been around for a while. So you obviously Boston Mullinex gets a lot of coverage. He's a guy who's probably going to end up being our all-time leading rusher in our school history. Joey Jackson's kind of probably end up being our all-time leading receiver. So those guys get a lot of coverage already. But then you've got guys who've done it before, like Anthony Perry, who was a little bit quiet last year. He's had a great summer. He had a great spring, obviously with the baseball run. And then you got some other guys that are going to be, I think, highlighted in some different aspects. Gavin Gregory is a matchup problem. He's 6'6", 235 pounds. He runs well, and he plays tight end for us. And then Jeremiah Thomas won our quarterback job. He's a dynamic athlete, and our offense is going to look a little bit different with him back there just because of his skill set. But then you can't go wrong with the defensive side of the ball as well. Jack Flickinger is going to be our leader on defense. He's a Mike. He's playing inside the box this year. He's going to be a 3-year starter. Garen Harlan is playing outside backer this year for us, and we're excited about the physicality that he brings to the team. And then Carson Graham is a mastermind in the back half. He's going to really help us get aligned and make sure that we're doing all of our assignments correctly. So those are kind of guys that we're going to lean on defensively. And then in the trenches, you got to give those guys some credit and give those guys some love too. So Dom Slyman anchors both our offensive and our defensive line. Hayden Martin's going to be a 2-year starter, and he's playing center for us. Those guys are really going to anchor our offensive line, and we're going to be counting on them this year.
One thing I've learned from this West Branch program, watching them for the 4 or 5 years we've had them on now on YSN, is even if outside there are question marks at the quarterback, there's not. I mean, when Drew stepped in, a lot of people were questioning, hey, what's Drew DeShields going to look like at quarterback? We know what he did. Same thing with Bo Alazaz. He came in. What's he going to look like? He came in. Let's talk about Jeremiah. You said he won it. What is he going to bring to the table, and what makes you confident that he's going to be the next person to have that kind of skill set where you think you have question marks, but then you learn really quickly, hey, this kid knows what he's doing back there.
Yeah. Well, JT's had a great summer, man. He's gotten a lot better over the course of the summer, and he's a dynamic athlete. We clocked him in the 4.4s when he ran his 40 for us in the summer over the conditioning period, and he's been a 2-year starter at basketball at point guard since his freshman year. He had a great winter with those guys. He started on the baseball team the last 2 years in the outfield. He's very, very electric. So he's He's a well-diverse athlete, which is what we're looking for at that position. And he's a kid that people naturally follow. He's a leader. Even if he doesn't necessarily always say something, kids just naturally follow him. He has got great leadership skills that he's continuing to try and hone. So, he's a lefty, so that'll be a little bit different for us this year. But his athleticism is something we're really excited about, the different things that he can do in the run game, different things that he can do, when plays break down. And then we're just, he's also going to do our offense. He's been in our system for the last 3 years. He knows what we're looking for. He knows our reads, our progressions, and different things like that. So we're really excited about him, and I think he's going to have a great future, just like those other guys did ahead of him.
He is not the only one that's coming off the baseball team that just won a state championship. If people have been living under a rock for some reason in Beloit, you guys have a state champion baseball team. You're bringing off of that. What does that do for this team? What does all these players that are coming off of that do for the locker room and having that winning championship mentality?
I think that, just the confidence that they can get there and they can do it. They played in big games. They played in big games all spring long. They had a very tough non-conference schedule on that baseball schedule that really, I think, helped them be prepared for postseason play. And then at the end of the day, those kids were resilient. They made play after play after play. I think the state title game, when you're down 2-0 to a team who hasn't given up a run all tournament long, and you find a way to win, that's contagious. And we're hoping that can escalate and be part of our football season as well. We've got a lot of those kids that are on our team, so we're excited about that, and it definitely has breeded confidence in our program. And I think that our kids they want to reach the pinnacle. They want to get to Canton. Obviously you can't get there without getting through week 1. So we want to make sure that we're focused on the current opponent at hand.
Let's talk about the schedule. It'll start with week 1, but I want to start talking about your conference first and just what you expect out of the EBC this year. It's always a tough one. The rivalries in the EBC are just a little bit more heightened, I think, than most conferences. What do you see out of the conference this year? What do you think are going to be some of the things that are going to be the biggest obstacles to you guys winning it?
I think, the EBC is going to be, I think, much improved this year. I think those guys, we had a good season last year with a lot of different teams, but I think Carrollton will be much better. I think they're going to be, contesting for the league title. I think Marlington, anytime you can have your coach back and your quarterback back, that gives you a little bit of confidence going into the next season. So I think Marlington will have another good year. Alliance is always going to be super skilled, and coach does a great job over there with that program. So, they're going to play us really tough. We get to go there this year, play in a great environment over there, and that's a rivalry game for us. I think Salem, we were fortunate enough to go watch Salem play Canfield in the scrimmage, so we got a little taste of what they might look like come week 10. But they're going to be a much improved team as well. And then I have some connections with the Minerva coaching staff with Coach Altenhoff, who was at West Branch prior, and he said their numbers are getting better, and they had a pretty good scrimmage against Malvern. So I think all of those opponents are going to be much improved. Obviously, I think that since we haven't lost a league game since 2019, we're going to have a target on our back. And every team's going to give us their best game of the year. So, our kids are ready for that. That's no pressure, no diamonds. And our kids are, repeating that and ready for the upcoming challenges.
You also got non-conference games to get yourself ready for that challenge. So let's talk about the teams that pop up outside of the EBC and who you're excited to kind of test yourself against.
I think each opponent that we're facing is going to bring out a different element to things that we need to work on. I think Canfield is obviously a big one. We haven't won an opener in a couple of years. We haven't been able to beat Canfield in a couple of years. And I think that our kids are really motivated to try that and get that opportunity come next Friday. So that's the number one is taking care of business there. With we got to be more physical. We got to play better defense. We got to take care of the ball a little bit better against those guys and hopefully establish a run game against them. But that's going to be a great battle to see where we're at because of how established that program is. Then you have Woodridge. Woodridge is going to be always really talented. They have a lot of speed over there in that program. That track program does a great job. And there are a lot of guys that are multi-sport athletes over there. So I thought Coach did a great job of the improvement that we saw from week 2 to week 11. They took us to the wire. So obviously going to be a great challenge there. Girard is another team that they just reload. They don't have any rebuilding years. They have reload years. So we know that that's going to be a shootout there. That they're going to be high-paced and up-tempo, similar to what we've been in the past. So obviously going there will be another tough challenge. And then I'm really excited about the challenge that Cheney's going to bring to us. I think that that's going to really prepare us for league play as well as postseason play. When you have teams with the team speed that, Perry and Glenville and Streetsboro and Lake Catholic and Akron Bookdale all have it that are in our region, you've got to be exposed to that every once in a while. And I think that, Cheney with elite team speed and the way the coach has done a great job over there with the dynamic athletes that they have, that'll be a great challenge for us. And then, you have Allen. We got to go to Trumbull County, which is always a tough environment to play. So, we got to take it 1 week at a time and continue to get better every day in practice.
Week at a time. You have a big scrimmage tonight against South Range, and then you have a week of practice before week 1. What are some things on the coaching staff's checklist of things they want to see kind of accomplished and figured out before that week 1 game using the scrimmage tonight and the practices that you do have left?
Yeah, I think, last week we had a great scrimmage against Struthers. That's another talented team. We want our scrimmages to be tests for us. And I thought that our leadership was great. We had some adversity throughout the scrimmage. Things didn't go always our way. And our kids, I thought, battled and competed. This week, our kind of key term that we wanted our kids to see was we wanted to see consistency. So we want to see consistent effort. We want to see consistent assignment, accomplishment. We want our kids to do everything very consistent. I think that's really important when developing a program. So consistency is the main thing that we're looking for tonight. We want to see kids flying around. We expect them to play with effort. That's what West Branch football is. And we expect them to execute. South Range is going to do a great job. Coach Rock over there, he's probably scheming it up for us, knowing him. But we're excited to test ourselves against a team that, made it to the regional finals, has won a state championship in the last couple of years, and is extremely well coached. So, we got a couple tricks and things up our sleeves for tonight, and I hope they do too. So it's going to be a great battle, great competition.
I like it, Coach. Like hearing it. I know that's a matchup that everyone would have loved to see in a normal game. So scrimmages, got to give the fans what they want a little bit, right? Got to give them a little bit of that pizzazz. You've been here before. You've done our coaches' corners. You know that we don't let you go without talking about your staff. You get the interviews, but we know they do a lot behind the scenes to help you build this program. So talk about the people behind you, your coaching staff, and the other people that make this West Branch football program great.
Yeah, I think that, we put a great staff together, and we have a little bit of continuity, or continuity is the better word I've had, with that staff. We return everyone from it. We have Sean Alizos, our defensive coordinator. He's a very experienced coach, has done a great job, and helping out with baseball. Even now Bo's gone and graduated from West Branch, he's still helping out coach, which is really important for us. Coach Harris, obviously the most previous head coach at West Branch. I don't know what I would do without him and his guidance that he has helped me as a football coach and just as a man in general. He's a great role model for our kids, and like I said, he's an amazing person. We got Bob Shepard back again. He's been here since the 80s, and we love him. He brings a different energy to our program. We got Chris Thomas, a very energetic guy, military type base guy, very good guy. Coach DeVanzo from, the Poland area, another guy. Kids love him. They mesh really well with him. We've got my brother, Coach Cooper, on the staff. I think that's been a great hire the last 2 years. That's not me being biased. He's more of a defensive guy, more of an offensive guy, so we might butt heads a little bit, but he's doing a great job with our secondary. Coach Mardick is doing a great job with our receivers. And then you got some down the line guys. Nick Wilson joined our coaching staff this year. It's his first year coaching. He's going to be helping out with the freshmen. We're really excited about what he could bring to the program. You got Paul Hostetter, an experienced guy. He's been a defensive coordinator at a couple different places, so he's still coaching freshman ball for us. So getting those elite minds down there is going to be really good. And Sean Conjemi was added to our coaching staff, kind of a strength and conditioning based guy, but going to help with freshman football. But I think the people that really make it run are the people that are really behind the scenes, like John Hancock is our statistician, and he does a phenomenal job with everything that he does. He helps set up the field and do a bunch of different things around the school. He's just a West Branch lifer, and this program would be lost without guys like him. Rick Mullinex with our film. Those guys do a phenomenal job. Joe Malta drives from Pittsburgh. He's one of my buddies from college to film games on Friday nights for us. So it's a place to be. It's a special program to be a part of because it's so much bigger than just one person or one player. So we're really excited about the season that we're about to have, and we hope that the West Branch faithful bought their rally towels, and we can get some different themes going for the upcoming year.
One thing you know about West Branch faithful, they'll always show up, and that green sticks out anywhere you're at. So you'll never have trouble finding them. They're excited. We're excited, Coach. Thank you so much for taking the time previewing the season with us. Can't wait for week 1. We'll be there all season, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.